Hello and welcome to another eRIS Quick Start Guide video. In this video, you will learn to create a validated tag. These tags provide users with the ability to rapidly flag, modify, review, and approve data. They are created using a combination of several eRIS components. To begin, navigate to the Validated Tags page on the eRIS navigation bar under the Administration menu. Click the Add Tag button. The tag definition screen appears. This screen is used to define the location of the initial data on which the validation occurs. Start by entering a tag identifier. This is the unique name of the validated tag and will be used throughout eRIS. It cannot be modified after it is created and cannot contain any spaces or special characters. Validated tags can be associated with a group to make searching more efficient for the user. To add a group, enter a new name or select an existing group from the list. Begin typing in the field the name of the group you want to select or click within the field to see a drop-down list of all entries. Set the source tag from which to get the initial data, along with an associated sampling mode and interval. An alternate mode and alternate interval can also be defined to view a secondary mode and interval combination against the returned data. These fields are for comparison only and do not affect the validation itself. Enter a description for the validated tag. Set the engineering units for the validated tag. The retry field allows you to decide if the validated tag should rerun a batch at the next scheduled interval in the case of a blank dataset. Choose to either rerun or not and advance to the last run date. Set the status of the validated tag to either enabled or disabled. Finally, enter a start date for when the validated tag should begin gathering data from the source tag. The next tab is the Specification tab. First on this tab, set the schedule for when the validated tag batch will run automatically. You can set hours, minutes, months, days, and weekdays. Clicking the Schedule fields will allow you to select from preset options. Select the batch size for the validated tag. This determines the number of days, weeks, months, and so on the tag will return values for, beginning on the batch offset day. Select the batch offset from the list to determine from which past dates data should be collected. Select a batch processing delay. This determines the amount of time to delay processing the validation batch. This field is useful when data is incomplete or unavailable at the present moment. The no offset choice processes any and all batches up to the current run date. For example, a batch size of 1 week and a batch offset of 1 week means the system goes back 7 days from today and gathers data for a duration of 7 days. If you were to create a batch processing delay of 1 day, the system would not process your request for 1 day after the creation date. Select the scale from the list. This sets the number of decimal places to be returned from calculations. If the source data has more decimal places than the scale setting, it will be rounded to the nearest value. A value of default in this field returns the full raw source value. Set the summary values you would like to be calculated and displayed with the data. This takes into account all data returned by the validated tag batch to determine the values. Choose the total calculation method you'd like to utilize when determining the total summary value. Non-accumulating adds together all of the values returned from the batch, while accumulating takes the maximum value from the batch and subtracts it from the minimum. Select a workflow from the list. This chooses which existing workflow will be applied to the tag. The third tab is the Validation Rules tab. It defines which existing rules are applied to the validated tag when processing the data. This can be used to automatically adjust values based on partner criteria and known data anomalies. Drag and drop or click the plus sign to select existing rules to add to the validation tag. Click the Update button after selecting or deselecting a rule in order to refresh the list of inputs and constants associated with the rule. If inputs or constants are defined in the rule you've selected, you have the option to define a substitution tag to use in place of the validation tag you've created. Substitutions allow you to create special circumstances for each validated tag. In order to validate a chlorine residual at the final effluent, in this example, select corresponding flow from the final effluent tag. Constants can also be substituted. Click the Save and Close button when finished. You will be returned to the validated tag list. A summary of the tag you just created appears in the validated tags definitions portlet. For further information, please reference the Print Quick Start Guide for creating validated tags.